systems rigged, man, it's time to break free. Eyes wide open, gotta see what I see. Standing on the front lines, fighting for the truth. Lift the veil of lies, it's time to be the proof. Take a stand, don't you back down. Raise your voice, let's shake the town. We're the voices that won't be ignored. Breaking chains, yeah, we're ready for war. With the power of the people, we'll make them see a world of justice, united and free. United and free.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have been seated and properly sworn as the jury to hear this case. The court will now give you what I call a preliminary instruction, and I ask that you pay close attention. As the trial proceeds, I may ask you if you have followed these admonitions. You are not to discuss among yourselves any subject connected with the trial until the case has been submitted to you for deliberation. You are not to converse with anyone else on any subject connected with the trial until you are discharged as jurors in this case. You are not to permit yourselves to be exposed to outside comments or news accounts of the proceedings until you are discharged as jurors in this case. You are not to conduct any independent research about this case, the legal issues, and or the parties involved. You are not to view the place where the offense was allegedly committed. You are not to form or express any opinion on this case until it has been submitted to you for deliberation. You are not permitted to mix and mingle with the attorneys, parties, witnesses, and spectators, and you are to avoid all contacts with those persons. You are required to report to the court any communication or attempt to communicate with you on the case or any subject connected with the trial. You may not take notes during the course of the trial. There are several reasons for this. It's difficult to take notes and at the same time pay attention to what a witness is saying. Further, in a group the size of yours, certain persons will take better notes than others will, and there's a risk that jurors who do not take good notes will depend on jurors who do. The jury system depends upon all jurors paying close attention and arriving at a decision. The court believes that the jury system works better when jurors do not take notes. You will notice that we do have an official court reporter making a record of the trial. However, we will not have typewritten transcripts of this record available for your use in reaching a decision in this case. During the trial, the court may be called upon to make rulings on objections or motions made by the attorneys. You should not infer from any ruling the court makes that the court has an opinion on the merits of the case favoring one side or the other. If the court sustains an objection to a question and not allows it to be answered, you should disregard any response by the witness prior to the court's ruling, and you should not speculate on what the complete answer might have been or draw any inference from the question itself. It may be necessary for me to confer with the attorneys outside of your presence. It is impossible to predict when those circumstances might arise, but I will resolve the issues before me as quickly as possible. After this instruction, the attorneys will have an opportunity to make opening statements in which they will be able to explain the facts and issues as they see them. After all of the evidence has been presented, they will have the opportunity to address you again and make their closing or final arguments. These statements and arguments are not evidence or instructions on the law. Nevertheless, they are intended to help you understand the evidence and the applicable law, and you should give them close attention. Opening by the state.
May I proceed, Your Honor?
Yes, ma'am.
This is a case about Carly Madison Gregg. Carly Gregg has been charged with murdering her mother, Ashley Smiley, and attempting to murder her stepfather, Heath Smiley. She's also been charged with tampering with physical evidence for removing a camera and hiding it that captured a portion of the events. Ladies and gentlemen, you'll hear testimony throughout the next few days during this case. You'll hear about some secret life that Carly lived. You'll hear that Carly had a secret boyfriend. You'll hear that Carly had a secret iPod, that she had secret social media accounts that she was using to communicate with people on this iPod when her parents had taken her phone away. You'll hear that she was secretly cutting on her thigh using a knife. You'll hear that she secretly had burner phones her mom and stepdad stepdad didn't know about that she was using. You'll hear that she had secret weed vape pens and that she before going to school at times. Ladies and gentlemen, that's not why we're here though. We're here because of what she did on March the 19th, 2024. So that you'll hear that Carly is the daughter of Ashley Smiley, the stepdaughter of Heath Smiley, that Heath and Ashley were married sometime in 2020. You'll hear that Carly's Bible not been in her life for about a year or more, that he was a known drug user, had violent and angry tendencies. You'll hear that back in January, Carly got in trouble with her parents when they found this iPod, that they got onto her for using these secret accounts and for communicating with people. You'll hear that around the same time that she had this boyfriend they found out about, and that they asked her to break up with him, and that later they found out she was still seeing this boy. You'll hear at some point that Carly got in trouble at school. She was cheating. She'd found the answers to a test and gave them to the other students. You'll hear that all of this was happening about the same time that they found out Carly was cutting on her legs. You'll hear that as a concerned parent, what they did was they got Carly in therapy. She was being treated for anxiety and stress. You'll hear that she continued smoking those vape pens even after in therapy. So now I want to take you to the real reason we're here and what you'll hear. We're here because on March the 19th, 2024, Carly rode to school with her mother that day. Ashley was a school teacher at Northwest Rankin, taught geometry. Carly was in the 10th grade. You'll hear that morning she got in a little altercation with one of her friends, cussed him out. But what you'll hear, ladies and gentlemen, from the testimony of this friend is that he was so worried about Carly's use of smoking marijuana, and so worried about her being high, and so worried about her having these burner phones that her mom didn't know about, that he felt compelled to tell Miss Ashley Smiley that day. Ladies and gentlemen, after the incident with Carly that morning, you'll hear that he gets in touch with another friend, and he's like, hey, you got to keep her distracted so I can go tell Miss Smiley what's going on. Ladies and gentlemen, this friend cared about Carly. He was like, I gotta intervene. I gotta tell her. I'm afraid of what's happening. You'll hear from him that he did in fact tell Miss Smiley. That after 4th block that day, he goes and he tells Miss Smiley, hey, Carly has got these vapes. She's got this phone. Ladies and gentlemen, you'll hear then that Carly Gregg rides in the car home with her mother from school to their house. They leave school sometime after 3:30. They get home a little before 4. You'll hear that when they get inside the house, it's only their 2 dogs, Ashley Smiley and Carly Gregg. Immediately, Carly goes and lets the dogs out. You'll hear testimony that Ashley then goes into Carly's room. You'll hear that while Ashley is in her room, that Carly's still outside. At some point, Ashley finds what law enforcement believe to be the 4 boxes that contain vape pens. Testimony will be that we believe she carried them from Carly's room to her bedroom, went back to searching Carly's room. The evidence will show that almost immediately upon Carly coming inside the house, that she walks straight to her parents' goes straight to her mom's side of the bed and removes a .357 Magnum from under the mattress. We believe the testimony will be that then she concealed that .357 Magnum behind her back. As she walked through the kitchen, she peeks her head around. We believe the testimony will show that she peeks her head around the kitchen to make sure that her mom hasn't come out of her bedroom. We believe the evidence will then show that she walked with that .357 Magnum behind her back, walked in to her own bedroom, and then fired 3 shots into her mother, killing her. We believe the testimony will then be that that very moment after she shot and killed her mother, she then hides that gun back out of the camera, walks back into that kitchen, sits down on a stool with a gun behind her, picks up her mother's cell phone, puts her mom's passcode into the phone. We believe the testimony will be that then she texts her stepdad and said something to the effect of, "When will you be home, honey?" Testimony will be that then she waited for him to respond. "I'll be a little bit longer." She sends him a thumbs up. Ladies and gentlemen, we believe the testimony will then be that after she puts the phone back down and walks out of sight with the camera, that between the next 45 minutes or so, that the defendant reaches out to or attempts to reach out to about 5 or 6 of her friends. Some were FaceTime, some were text messages. We believe the evidence will show that during this time, she was asking them all for help, trying to get them to come over to her house. She wouldn't tell them why. We believe that one of them's going to say he even offered to call 911, and she told him no. The evidence will also be that one of these friends did in fact come over to help Carly that day. She didn't know why, but she knew that her friend needed help, and she went to that home. We believe the evidence will show that when that friend arrived at Carly's house, that Carly walked to the front door, asked her, "Are you squeamish around dead bodies?" We believe the evidence will show that then she took that friend and showed her her dead mother laying on the floor. We believe the evidence will show that after that, she says, "I put 3 in my mom, and I got 3 more waiting for my stepdad when he gets home." We believe the evidence will show that then she tells this friend, "Hey, why don't you go wait outside in the backyard? My stepdad's about to be home." This friend will testify that she does go in the backyard and she hears gunshots. And the next thing she sees is Carly coming out of the back door. We believe the testimony will be that she fell down coming out of the back door, gets up and tells her to run. And these 2 individuals, this friend and Carly, jump over the fence and run separate directions. You'll hear testimony that there was a 911 call. You'll hear a frantic Heath Smiley telling the dispatcher, "Oh my God, she's killed her mother. She hit me in the neck, it grazed me, she tried to kill me too, she's run off." You'll hear from law enforcement when they arrived on the scene that Carly Gregg had fled the scene. You'll hear from law enforcement that when they arrived on the scene, Ashley Smiley was very much dead in the floor in Carly's bedroom, and that they found that Heath Smiley had been shot and hit in the shoulder, through and through. You will hear from law enforcement that sometime after the day of the event, they learned that there was cameras involved, that this home had surveillance video. You'll learn that one of those videos was turned over by the living victim, Heath Smiley, and it shows Carly Gregg and her friend jumping over the fence. And then you'll learn that there was another camera in the house on March the 19th, 2024. That Carly was hiding the gun out of sight of. And you'll hear that that camera was not in the kitchen when law enforcement got there, and it was not in the kitchen where it should have been when Heath Smiley got there. It wasn't until sometime later that that camera was discovered. Ladies and gentlemen, you will hear that Ashley Smiley's cause of death, gunshot wounds to the head. Ashley Smiley's manner of death, homicide. You will hear that Heath Smiley says, "Carly Gregg is the one that shot at me." And on his 911 call, he said that she tried to kill him. You'll hear him say that he did not move that camera, the only other person living in the home. Ladies and gentlemen, you also hear from forensic scientists from the Mississippi Forensics Laboratory. You'll hear that both of Carly Gregg's hands tested two, both the right and the left. You'll hear that the .357 Magnum that was used to kill her mother and shoot her stepfather, they took swabs. They took a swab of the trigger, and they took a swab of the hammer. And you will hear that the DNA profile that matches those swabs belongs to Carly Gregg. Ladies and gentlemen, you will also hear that there were 2 projectiles removed from Carly Gregg's mother, Ashley Smiley. One in her brain, one in her neck. Projectiles were tested with ballistics, and that those projectiles matched the .357 Magnum that Heath Smiley took out of Carly Gregg's hand that day on March the 19th, 2024. And ladies and gentlemen, at the end of this trial, after you've heard the evidence, the state will stand before you, and we will ask that you murder, attempted murder, and tampering with physical evidence. Thank you, Your Honor.
Does the defense wish to make its opening now, or do you wish to defer?
The defense will go ahead, Your Honor.
Opening statement by the defense.
Good afternoon. I know it's been a long morning for you all, so I will try to do this as briefly as possible. This is not a whodunit case. We know who took action on March 19th to bring about the death of Ashley Smiley and the injuries to Heath Smiley. However, this is a why case. Why did it happen? Why did this exceptional child with no history of violence, who was loved by her friends, her teachers, her parents, who had a good home life, who loved her mother, why did she shoot her mom? Why did she shoot at her stepfather? The state would like you to believe the answer to those questions don't matter, but we know better than that. The answers to those questions is why we're here today, and it's what you're here to do. We believe the evidence will show that there were 3 victims on March 19th. Ashley Smiley, Heath Smiley, and Carly Smiley. And Carly Gregg. That they were all 3 victims. We believe the evidence will show that Carly had been suffering from a mental illness, that Carly was not aware on March 19th that she had a mental illness. We believe the evidence will show that Carly's parents, who lived with her, were not aware that illness. We believe the evidence will show that Carly's close friends, who saw her at school every day, were not aware that Carly was suffering from a mental illness, because it's hard to look at a person and understand that they have a mental illness. It's hard to look at a person and know that they have a mental illness. That's why it's often referred to as the invisible disease. A person can exhibit symptoms of a mental illness without people necessarily knowing that they have one, or other people necessarily knowing the person has. While the events on March 19th were tragic, the events on March 19th were not intentional. The evidence will show, and the testimony will show, that Carly Gregg loved her mother. That Carly Gregg and her mother had a loving, close relationship. Carly Gregg's mom loved her. In fact, her life revolved around Carly, as parents' lives often do revolve. Carly very much wanted to please her mother. Carly was an exceptional student, made a 30 on the ACT when she was 13 years old. She was the apple of her mother and her stepfather's eye. And you will understand by the conclusion of this hearing why Carly's stepfather is standing behind her. Because he knows on March 19th, there were 3 victims: Ashley, Heath, and Carly. The state will ask you to take your good judgment, to take your common sense, and to put it in a bucket, to put the lid on the bucket, and to toss the bucket out of this courtroom. We implore you not to do that, to retain your common sense, to retain your good judgment, and to make sure that you are listening to the evidence as it's presented, because it doesn't matter how many witnesses the state puts on, their story is filled with inconsistencies because they're not telling the whole story. The evidence will not show that Carly was ever deemed dangerous by anyone. The evidence will not show that Carly ever had any desire to hurt her mother. The evidence will not show that Carly ever had any desire to hurt any person. The evidence will not show that Carly invited people over to her house to view her mom's body. What it will show is that on March 19th, a hysterical Carly called her closest friends, begging them for help, begging them to help her. The evidence will show that Carly did not recognize Heath Smiley when he got home that day. You'll hear that from him himself. The evidence will show that Carly was so terrified when Heath Smiley got home on March 19th that even after Carly left the house, Heath walked around the house with the handgun in his hand looking for an intruder because he was convinced by Carly, by how she appeared, by how she acted, did that day, by the child he had known for years, that she was terrified, something in that house to cause that kind of terror in Carly. What the evidence will not show is that Carly had a drug problem. What the evidence will not show is that Carly and her mother had any argument on March 19th. What the evidence will not show is that Carly had any desire to hurt her stepfather. What the evidence will not show is that Ashley Smiley was angry when she left school that day, or that Ashley Smiley was upset with Carly when she left school that day, or that after they got home on March 19th, Ashley and Carly engaged in an argument. The evidence will not show that Ashley Smiley found anything in Carly's bedroom that would have caused an argument. The evidence will not show that Carly intended to hurt anyone. The evidence will not show that Carly has not grieved her mother's loss. The evidence will not show that law enforcement did their due diligence in investigating this matter. The evidence will not show that Carly was abusing or misusing prescription medication. The evidence will not show that Carly was just a teenager who had a life that her parents didn't know everything about. That's called having a teenager and being a parent. The evidence will not show that Carly had ever tried to harm another person, had ever had a desire to hurt another person. The evidence will not show that Carly is a monster, that Carly was a difficult child, a troubled child, or a deranged child. The evidence will not show that Carly Gregg does not deserve you to return a verdict of not guilty. Now, the evidence will show that Carly had a family history of mental illness. In fact, it was well documented. The evidence will show that Carly was concerned that something was wrong with her. She wrote journal entries about it. The evidence will show that Carly was afraid she had the same mental illness that her father had. The evidence will show that Carly's mother had worried for years about Carly having the same mental illness that her father had. The evidence will show that Carly was very emotionally tied into her mother's emotions, and that Carly never wanted her mother to worry about her. The evidence will show that Carly was scared of how her mother would react to the knowledge that if Carly had the same mental illness that her father had. That doesn't sound like a child that doesn't love her mom. And that doesn't sound like a child who has any intention of hurting her mother. The state would like you to believe that it's normal for her to go home from school one day with their mother, who they love, and shoot her, but nothing's wrong. It was just marijuana. Or because she was on social media and her mom didn't want her on social media. But again, we ask you to retain your common sense and to retain your good judgment, because we know that just doesn't make sense. And at the end of this trial, if the state's case still leaves you feeling like their version of events just doesn't make sense, then you must return a verdict of not guilty.
State may call its first witness.
State calls Kevin Collins, Your Honor. Your Honor, Mr. Lewis, approaching the start of the TBS.
Yeah, my foot went all the way down.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Be seated, please. Adjust yourself up to the microphone. Yes. Do you understand that you're now under oath and you're asked to be sworn to answer?
May I proceed, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
All right. Good afternoon, sir. Would you please introduce yourself to the jury?
My name's Kevin Collins.
And Mr. Collins, where do you work?
I work Rankin County Sheriff's Department dispatch.
All right. And you say dispatch. Explain to us just a little bit about what dispatch is and what you do as part of your job responsibilities.
Basically, we take all the incoming calls from the county and the community, even some from the cities for emergency situations, and we dispatch proper personnel, whether it be medical, fire, law enforcement.
And how long have you worked for Rankin County Sheriff's Office in that role?
I started in the Sheriff's Department February 7th, 2022.
Okay. And before February of 2022, did you have any experience working in that role in any other, for any other departments or agencies?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Can you tell the ladies and gentlemen about that?
I started with Hinds County Sheriff's Department in June of 2007. I worked 2 years at the city of Flowood, and then I worked Yazoo County E911, a couple years at Mendenhall Police Department, and then the last 6 years before I came to Rankin County, I was a supervisor at the city of Florence.
And you talked about some of your job duties and responsibilities. As part of your responsibilities and duties, do you dispatch fire services?
Yes, we do fire services.
Do you dispatch police?
Yes.
EMTs?
That is done through Pafford.
Okay. Who contacts Pafford in the event that EMTs are needed?
We transfer the caller. In the perfect situation, we transfer the caller to Pafford so they can ask the proper questions.
Okay. And I understand that over the years, maybe some of the training requirements have changed, but whenever you became a dispatcher, what were the training requirements in order to become a dispatcher?
Within the first year, you had to go through a 40-hour basic certification class plus a 8-hour ride-along with each department that you dispatch, whether it be fire, law enforcement, medical. In every continuous year, you have to do 48 hours in 6 different subjects for every 3 years to recertify.
So did you do those initial requirements back whenever you started?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Did you ride along with those different agencies that you dispatched?
Yes, I did.
All right. And have you kept up your continuing education hours throughout the years?
Yes, sir, I have.
And who are you certified through? Who keeps up with that?
Board of Standards and Training through the state of Mississippi.
Okay. And you said you worked at Rankin County since February of 2022, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you guys work in shifts, or how does your schedule work?
We do. My shift is 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., and we do a 3-2 split, which is like 1 week we'll work Monday, Tuesday, and then the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then the next week we will work Wednesday and Thursday. And it just alternates the following weeks.
Okay. How many dispatchers work at a time for Rankin County?
There's 4 of us at a time on duty.
And how do you guys handle calls that come in to, say, 911?
If it's an emergency situation, then, you know, we've got this thing where we'll snap our fingers and somebody else will pick up on the call. That way one of us can get all the information we can while the other one's dispatching it out.
So is it possible that more than one person can be listening to the call at the same time?
Yes.
Okay. And I want to take you back to March 19th of this year, March 19th, 2024. Were you employed as a dispatcher with Rankin County at that time?
Yes, I was.
And that was as a dispatcher?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Were you working that day?
Yes, I was.
Do you recall receiving a call from an individual by the name of Mr. Heath Smiley that day?
Yes, I do.
And what was the reason for Mr. Smiley calling 911?
He called because he had been shot. At first he said he had grazed the neck. Once during the middle of the call, he then stated that his wife was also shot dead on the floor. And I continued to talk to him until deputies arrived on scene.
And do you recall the address that Mr. Smiley was calling from?
Yes, it was 214 Ashton's Way.
Okay. Is that address located in Rankin County?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Mr. Collins, how would you describe Mr. Smiley's demeanor whenever you first picked up the phone that day?
He was very distraught. At first, I thought I was speaking with a female. It wasn't until I found out his name that I knew it was a male. And then I just continued to get further information from him, what I could. He couldn't even, when I asked him the address the first time, he couldn't even tell me the address. I went off of the 911, which gave us, I believe, 215 Ashton Way. And then later on during the call, I verified with him what his address was.
Okay. And you mentioned that Mr. Smiley stated that he was grazed and that his wife was dead. Did he tell you anything else?
He also advised that his stepdaughter had shot him and that he had taken the gun from her and she ran out the back door wearing, I believe, a gray shirt and jeans and went over the back fence. I got a description from him that we could pass along to our officers, and that's most of it, except he did also advise that she had been going through some things and was on medication trying to deal with some stuff.
Okay. When someone calls 911, are those calls recorded?
Yes, they are.
And do you know whether or not those calls are kept in the normal course of business by the Rankin County Sheriff's Office?
Yes, they are.
Okay. Do you know whether your call with Mr. Smiley on March 19, 2024 was recorded?
Yes, it was.
And do you know whether or not that call was kept in the normal course and scope of business by the Rankin County Sheriff's Office?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have you listened to that call before?
Yes, I have.
May I approach, Your Honor? Mr. Collins, I handed you an item. Do you recognize that?
Yes, sir. It's a disc of the recording.
And how do you know that's what that is?
Because I initialed and dated it.
Okay. Have you watched or listened to that call before?
Yes, I have.
And you said there are some initials on there. Are those your initials?
Yes, sir, they are.
Whenever you listened to that call, did it appear to be altered or edited in any way?
No, it did not.
Okay. Your Honor, at this point, we would move this disc in as State's Exhibit 1.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Be admitted S1, all purposes. No objection.
May I retrieve the disc, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Collins, you mentioned that you listened to this. Is this a complete call recording of the call with Mr. Smiley that day?
Yes, it is, from beginning to end.
Okay. Your Honor, may I publish this for the jury, please?
Yes, sir.
calm down for me. Give me your name again.
Heath Smiley.
Heath Smiley?
Yes, sir.
All right, mister, what's your phone number you calling me from? Did she hit you?
Yeah, I got hit in the neck a little bit.
Okay, so did graze your neck?
Yes, sir.
All right, and what's her name?
Carly Gregg.
Carly Gregg? You still have a gun on her?
From her, she ran.
You took it from her and she ran?
Yes, sir. She was screaming something at me I couldn't understand. I locked the door. She's out. What's going on?
Which way did she run off to?
She ran into the backyard and went over a fence.
Ran into the backyard and went over your fence?
Yeah.
What is she wearing?
T-shirt, gray shirt and some jeans.
Gray shirt and jeans? About how tall is she?
5'2".
About 5'2"? What color hair?
Brownish, just short hair.
5'2" with...
Back door, she opened fire on me. And was just screaming.
Okay, just calm down for me. We got everybody headed. She what?
She killed her mom!
She killed her mom?
Yeah, that's what I'm screaming about.
Where's the mom?
Mom, when I do this, she doesn't kill me.
Where's the mom at? Sir. Okay, your address is 215, correct?
214.
214. His address is 214. Okay, sir. Where's your wife?
She's dead on the floor of my stepdaughter's room.
She's on the floor in your stepdaughter's room? What's your wife's name?
Ashley Smiley.
Ashley Smiley? Was there any problem with you, sir? Sir, I need you to speak with me, okay? Can you go outside the house and speak to me?
Okay.
Okay. Now, was there any problems going on with is it your stepdaughter or?
She's my stepdaughter. stepdaughter and her mom. I don't know what's going on. The stepdaughter's in therapy for a little while, trying to work out some problems in the dental, and I trust it.
Okay, and you say your wife has been shot?
Open the door, the cops are here.
They're there? Okay, sir, I'm gonna let you speak with them, okay? Okay. Speak with them, okay?
No further questions, Your Honor.
Does the defense wish to use the projector for cross-examination?
The defense has no cross-examination for this witness, Your Honor.
All right. You may step down, sir. Are you going to use that with your next witness? Yes, sir. Before we go to the next witness, any jurors need a restroom break? All right. State may call its next witness.
State calls Deputy Hunter Lewis, Your Honor.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Have a seat. Adjust yourself up to the microphone. Do you understand that you're now under oath and your answers will be sworn answers of the penalty of perjury?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, sir. Would you please introduce yourself to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
Hunter Lewis,
All right, Hunter, and where do you work?
Rankin County Sheriff's Office.
All right, and what role do you work at the sheriff's office?
Patrol.
All right, and as a patrol deputy at Rankin County, what do you do on a daily basis?
I answer 911 calls and assist the public when they call for assistance.
Okay. How long have you been in law enforcement? Work anywhere other than Rankin County, or have you been?
Places.
Okay, where else have you worked?
I worked at Hines County, Flowwood.
Okay. And where did you start? Did you start at Hines County?
Yes.
Okay. What kind of training did you go through in order to become a certified police officer?
Went to Mississippi Law Enforcement Officer Training Academy.
Okay. And approximately how long is that training?
12 weeks.
All right. As a patrol deputy now at Rankin County, do you complete any kind of ongoing training or continuing education?
I do.
And tell us just a little bit about what kind of training you go through.
We have to do annual training yearly throughout the year.
Okay. And what kind of topics does that annual training cover?
Just different aspects of the job.
Okay. Is it related to patrol or is it investigations? Tell us just a little bit about it.
Patrol.
Okay. Now, I want to take you back to March of this year, specifically March 19th, 2024. Were you employed as a patrol deputy at Rankin County on March 19th, 2024?
Yes, sir, I was.
All right. Do you recall receiving a call for service at 214 Ashton Way?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay. Is that in a subdivision or where is that?
It is.
What subdivision is that?
It's in Farmington Station, Norfolk.
Okay. Is that in Rankin County?
Yes, sir, it is.
All right. Did you respond to 214 Ashton Way?
Yes, sir, I did.
Whenever you arrived at 214 Ashton Way on March 19, 2024, were there any other law enforcement personnel there whenever you arrived?
No, sir.
So were you the first one there? Yes, sir, that's correct. Whenever you arrived on scene that day on March 19th at 214 Ashland Way, just tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what you observed whenever you got there.
When I arrived, the door was locked, but I could hear somebody screaming and highly upset on the inside of the house.
Okay. Did you later find out who was inside the house?
Yes, sir, I did.
Who was that?
He's Smiley.
At any point, did Mr. Smiley come outside or tell us what happened next?
Yes, I knocked on the door several times, announced who I was, and then he opened the door.
Can you describe Mr. Smiley's demeanor that you personally observed?
He was hysterical, highly upset, crying.
Okay. Whenever he came out, tell us what happened next.
He fell to the ground on the porch just outside the front door once, and then I asked him where his wife was. He said that she was inside on the floor.
What information, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Deputy Lewis, what information, if any, had you been provided by dispatch?
Just advised that there had been 2 people shot inside the residence.
Okay, so you stated that Mr. Smiley came outside, then you spoke to him briefly. Then what happened next?
After I spoke to him, I went inside to check on the other party. Bedroom.
Okay, and then once did you do anything to Miss Smiley whenever you encountered her inside?
I did. I initially checked for a pulse, and I couldn't feel the pulse, so I lifted the towel to see what kind of see what had happened, and that's when I noticed she had been shot in the face.
Okay, you mentioned a towel. Tell us, we haven't heard that before, so tell us what are you talking about? You
into the bedroom. She was laying flat on her back with her arms crossed with a towel over her face.
How were her arms crossed, if you recall?
Across the top of her chest.
Okay. And did you later confirm the identity of the female inside?
I did.
And who was that?
Ashley Smiley.
Okay. After checking Miss Smiley's pulse, what did you do then?
Then went back outside. I radio dispatched and asked them to have medical come on in, and went back outside to where Mr. Smiley.
Whenever you got back outside, were there any other law enforcement officers there at that time?
There.
Okay, and who was that?
Deputy Dustin Smith.
Okay. And once you returned back outside and encountered Mr. Smiley again on the front porch, what happened after that?
He told me who had shot him and gave me a description of what she was wearing.
And who did he tell you shot him?
His step.
By her name?
Carla Gregg.
Okay. And what did he tell you she was wearing?
She was wearing, I can't recall exactly what he has told me.
And then after that, what did you do next with that information?
Radioed to the units that was responding.
Did Mr. Smiley ever say anything about a gun or anything like that?
He did.
Okay. Tell us about that.
He advised that the gun that was used was laying on that counter and there was one live round in the cylinder.
Did he say what type of gun it was?
357.
Okay. And then what did you do after that, if anything?
I let the other officers know about the weapon, and then had the crime scene taped off.
Okay. And so how long did you stay out there that day?
Until took possession of Miss Smiley.
Okay. And after, at some point, did investigators get there? What happened with that?
When they arrived on the scene, they started taking photographs and processing the scene.
Okay. Now, Deputy Lewis, as a patrol deputy with Rankin County, do you wear a body-worn camera?
Yes, sir, I do.
And tell us, when do you activate your camera?
Anytime dealing with the public.
Okay. On March 19th, 2024, whenever you responded to 214 Ashland Way, were you wearing body-worn camera that day?
Yes, sir, I was.
And did your body-worn camera, in fact, record what happened whenever you arrived there on the scene?
Yes, sir, it did.
Do you know whether that body-worn camera footage is kept by the Rankin County Sheriff's Office?
Yes, sir, it is.
Since March 19th, 2024, have you reviewed that footage?
Yes, sir, I have.
Okay. May I approach, Your Honor?
Sure, Council Officer.
Deputy Lewis, I handed you an object. Do you recognize that?
Yes, sir, I do.
And what is that?
It's a copy of my body cam footage
How do you know that's what that is?
because I initialed it after I watched it.
Okay, so you watched that and initialed it.
Yes, sir, I did.
All right. That the footage that you watched on there, is that a true and accurate depiction of what your body cam recorded on March 19th, 2024 at 214 Ashton Way?
Yes, sir, it is.
Had that video been edited or altered in any way?
No, sir.
All right. Your Honor, at this time we would move this in as State's Exhibit 2.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Be admitted without objection, S2.
And Your Honor, I would ask for permission to post this to the jury.
All right.
Yeah, go back inside. Sheriff's Office! Sheriff's Office! Hey, come outside for a minute. Hey, come here. Hey, where's your wife at, bud? Where's your wife at?
She's dead on the floor in that room.
She's where? Sheriff's Office! Hello? I need medical here. I need you to go. Hey, where's your son wearing? Hey, can you tell me what your son's wearing? Hey, I need you to talk to me. What is your son wearing?
He was in jeans and grayish t-shirt. She's got short brownish hair.
So, jeans, a gray t-shirt, short brown hair.
She ran into the backyard. I tried to follow her. She jumped the fence and ran. She shot me in the neck. It's okay.
Does she still have the gun?
It's on the kitchen counter. I think there's one live round left in it. I opened the cylinder. I went in the back door. She tried to shoot me.
Hey, I need some gloves. Hey, he's saying that she ran towards Magnolia Place.
Are you sure?
He's grazed, but he's 10-2. It went through his shirt.
You got me right there.
Magnolia Place, that gated subdivision.
She went over the side back towards my vehicle. She might have looked around this way.
Might look back, going back towards the pond right there. Hey, she does not have the firearm. The firearm is here at the house. Hey, he's been grazed, but he's 10-2. It didn't really knock out. She's laying in the floor with a towel. That's all that one says so. Take that tape right there and just go to those trees. From my car to those trees. Actually, go for the mailbox. Is it through? Yeah, we in the front and out the back. It's a 357. C7? Okay. 14, like a third age. Does she have any kind of... What's her name, bud?
Carly Gregg.
Carly Gregg? How old is she?
14. She'll be 15 next month.
Okay.
And work, she's got me work for the door.
She jumped the fence, he said. She didn't go out the back door. Is he the only one? No, we got one. She's 7. She's married. Okay. The back door is locked. She did not go out the back door. 10-4, that's what he's claiming. Gray shirt, blue jeans, short brown hair. Hey, y'all do be advised, there's several firearms in the house. But the one that he's saying was used is laying on the table, but that doesn't mean she's not on it.
We don't know if she's gone.
information from you. What is her name again?
Carly, C-A-R-L-Y.
C-A-R-L-Y?
Carly Madison Gregg, G-R-E-G-G.
G-R-E-G-G?
She's my stepdaughter.
All right.
Her is in Starkville, and we're having all kind of problems with him. He's
Okay.
drugs and
What is your name, sir?
Keith Smiley.
Keith Smiley? Okay.
She's in the back for that.
All right.
Hey.
What's your wife's number? Name?
Ash. Have you called her? Have you called her? Call her. I'm looking for her.
Hey, how old is Ashley? How old's your wife?
40.
40? Ashley Smiley, 40 years of age, white female. Also, I got a 27 for the other victims. 801-151-492. 801-151-492. Ashley Smiley, she's 40 years old, and then the one we're looking for is Carly Madison Gregg. She's 14. They've been having issues with her in the past, so this is a stepdaughter. But they're fixing, hey, we need him. Told him, I said we'll probably send somebody up there with him.
Yeah. What do you see, Baptist? Where you go? Yeah, I'm saying. Get a picture, you know. Get a picture, you know. I'm sorry about that.
No, you're fine. That's why I was trying to just like. So you're gonna want to see? What? All the little girls, mother. There's several guns in the house. I need a crime scene log. So we'll take care of that, okay?
You can let him in the kennel.
Yeah, okay. We'll take care of that, okay? Y'all take a picture of that so y'all have it for y'all's information?
I'm just gonna get all his information from him. I don't need that.
Okay, all right. I got Reverend gonna start this for me. Okay.
What's his name?
Burnell. Tyler Burnell.
Okay. I thought I recognized him. He's ex-Pearl.
Yeah, Pearl and Flowwood, all of them. They've been everywhere.
Uh-huh.
Definitely better.
Works for me, but it's gonna be, we'll use it up pretty quick.
I get it from Burnell. Yeah, hey, turn around. Hey, y'all turn around real quick. He's trying to take a picture. You know. I couldn't really get to nothing that room. I didn't really get much from him because he's so, you know, all he told me is she took, huh? Yeah, all he kept telling me was she ran out the back door, but the back door is dead bolted.
You got blood.
What's the easiest way?
Maybe he probably didn't kind of in the heat of things trying to keep you from coming back. And he said the wife's name was Ashley.
Ashley? Yeah. Her name's
Ashley Smiley. Ashley Smiley. Where's mom?
I was she in the back bedroom.
I like it. Yeah.
Hey, Tyler, the gun that's used is right there on the counter in the kitchen. No.
Nobody?
No.
They're still alive?
Yeah.
My dust hit, huh?
Dad saw who, she's in here.
No, it was a juvenile on the other side waiting for her. What? Oh, that's what it was. He got his ass picked up? Yeah, he got it.
Sweet. Figure out where the fuck she's going. Now
This is kind of...
there's a bunch of gun cases and stuff laying right there. That closet slam full of guns. So we know she may still have access to them. She's in there, Doug.
I'm not going to leave anything to follow through this.
I mean, I couldn't get nothing in the front door. He was explaining something to me about the father, because he's stepdad too.
Okay.
Yeah. Tell him me and Dustin's already cleared the house. Me and Dustin's already cleared the house. Me and Dustin cleared the house?
I'm talking every closet, under the beds, everything. You know how juveniles are. They'll hide the damn spot.
But Dad, he said she ran out the back door.
I know. But Dad might. You never know. Look, I want to go through the house and I want to very politely. I want to look under beds. I want to look in closets, behind clothes. Let's make sure she's not in this house before we exhaust a whole lot out of it. You know how juveniles are.
Did y'all? Me and Dustin walked through and cleared the house, but I mean,
did you look under beds?
We didn't go that far. We looked in closets and stuff like that.
Hey, come in here. Yeah, I quickly cleared it, but I didn't. Yeah, let's hit all of it.
Clear.
Hey.
That's mom.
Yeah.
No, mom and dad both got it.
Mom and dad both what?
Got hit.
Okay. And
Dad's got it through and through on the shoulder. He's already in the ambulance.
So is the 14-year-old?
Yeah, the 14-year-old.
Where is that?
Yeah,
I found that out on the way you got it.
Yeah. He said it's 40 years old. Did y'all not hear Gregg?
Yeah, I heard Gregg.
No, it's 14. I'll go out and ride. Who throws up?
You guys said he was trying to get with her?
Yeah. Well, she texted me.
no.
Where was the other guy?
Who was that? The one that I was just talking to?
Max. Okay.
Yeah.
That's it for me on.
What do you want, Nancy? She's 14, so she's not gonna have anything. But there's some screens. There's some screens in here. You see, this thing right here is doing some pictures. Short now.
They got her. Oh.
Deputy Lewis, I heard a call out there. They said that they got her at 17:35. Is that 5:35 p.m.?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay. And what did you know about whether or not custody at that time?
I'm sorry, say that again?
What did they mean whenever they said that they took her into custody at 17:35?
They took her into custody at 5:35.
And do you know who that was that they were talking about?
Yes, sir. It was one of our interdiction units.
Okay. And who did they take into custody?
Gregg.
Okay. And I think the video goes on a little bit longer, but I think your testimony was earlier that you stayed out there until the coroner showed up. Is that correct?
That is.
And what type of things were you doing until the coroner showed up?
Just help processing the scene and.
Okay. Court's indulgence. Two more brief questions, Deputy Lewis. I heard you use two, I guess in the police world, what they call 10 codes on there. And I think you said one was 10-2 and one was 10-7. Can you explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what that means?
10-2 means okay and 10-7 means deceased.
Okay. And who were you referring to as 10-2 in the video?
He's Smiley.
And who was 10-7?
The mother, Ashley Smiley.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Do you intend to use the video?
No, Your Honor.
All right. If you would, Mr. Livingston, if you would, he's not going to use that. Would you move that out of the way, please?
Yes, sir.
You don't have to unplug it necessarily.
Okay.
Okay.
Just real quick.
Court. One moment, Mr. Camp. Cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, Hunter, you were the first person on the scene, is that correct?
Yes, sir, that is.
And I guess you had to knock on the door a few times in order to get Heath to come to the door, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And I think when you answer, or I guess when he comes to the door, you see him and he's talking on a cell phone, correct?
Yes, sir, that is.
And at that time, he's actually talking to the 911 dispatcher, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then, did you have him go out? I wasn't 100% sure when I was looking at the video. Did you have him come out, or did he come out and sit down?
Well, I asked him to come out.
Okay. And so when he comes out, you notice he's been injured at that point. Or did you, I think you asked him if he was injured, or you were able to ascertain
Yes, sir.
that he was injured, right?
Yes, sir.
And then you had him sit down, is that correct?
Correct.
Did that because you're looking out for his safety, and if somebody's been injured, you don't want them walking around and possibly fainting and doing things like that. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So you were having him get on or sit down, try to calm down, because at this point you're trying to get some information from him about what happened, correct?
Yes, sir.
And I notice you ask him what happened. He's telling you that I guess somebody had shot him. Is that correct?
Said that again, sir?
You were asking what happened, and he said somebody had shot him. Is that correct?
I don't recall that, sir.
Okay. He didn't tell you somebody had shot him? Didn't you ask him what happened, and he said that his stepdaughter had shot him?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I think it took you a couple times because you had asked, what does your son look like? And it took you a couple that you had to think to realize that it's actually a stepdaughter, not a stepson. Would that be correct?
Yes, sir.
And this is all on video, correct? I mean, we just saw the video. This is all on video.
Yes, sir.
That's what we would call a body cam, right?
Correct.
Okay. And you have certain policy and procedures with the body cam, correct?
Yes, sir.
And I think you had said when you first got up on the stand, you were asked about why you wear a body cam or what it is, and you said any time that you have interaction with the public.
Yes, sir.
And it's for your safety, and it's also for the safety of the, I guess, the public, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you have certain policies that say, as long as you're out there, you can't turn that body cam off, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that's a Rankin County Sheriff Department policy, right?
Yes, sir.
And that's I guess, if you're wearing a body cam, you are, I guess, and you're with the Sheriff Department, everybody follows the same procedures.
Yes, sir.
May I beg the court's indulgence? No further questions.
Redirect.
Deputy Lewis, Mr. Camp was just asking about body cams. Do you know whether investigators, in your personal knowledge, do you know whether the investigators with the Rankin County Sheriff's Office wear body cams?
I don't know that, sir.
Okay. And the gentleman who showed up out there with the white shirt on, who was that?
Investigator Burnell.
Okay. Of course it does. Nothing further, Your Honor.
May this witness be excused by the state?
Yes.
By the defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can stand down. I'll approach real quick. I'm going to have the bailiff show you back, take a restroom break real quick, just so y'all know we do our best not to go past 5:30, okay? While you're back there, you'll need to go on ahead and start talking among yourselves about a very important topic, lunch tomorrow, okay? You have two options. And do not sleep on the first option, okay? The jail is serving pork chops tomorrow, okay? And I don't mind telling you, I'm going to eat a pork chop tomorrow, okay? If you don't want the pork chop, we have a very limited menu available from Nukes, okay? I'm going to hand these to the bailiff when he takes you back there. Go on ahead and use the restroom, but we need to make a decision tonight about lunch tomorrow. Just for your knowledge, we're going to work through, okay? The lawyers are on their own for food, but the court will feed y'all, okay? So y'all go ahead and start having that discussion among yourselves about tomorrow. Use this time for a restroom break. Everyone remain seated while the jury exits. Mr. Bailiff, let me know when they're done with the restroom. All right, everyone else, it's 4:20, we'll be in recess till 4:30. State, go on there and get your next witness in on the front row. Who's the state's next witness?
There's a statement about to call a juvenile. I'm not sure.
All right. For any media in the room, state statute prohibits you recording audio or video any juvenile. And this court's prior order was that any juveniles to be referred to in the press by initials. So, Mr. Cameraman, turn off the camera. You're done. Do any independent research, and please don't go home and get on social media, okay? With those three admonitions, I'm going to turn y'all over to the bailiff, but I do need y'all to make a decision as to lunch tomorrow, because I have to order tonight, okay? If you're vegan or you have some special issue, you can pack lunch. These are the options that I have, okay? So just before y'all leave tonight, please make that decision. If you want to bring something, we'll provide you a refrigerator. We'll provide way that we can. I'm going to ask y'all to be back in the jury room at 8:45 tomorrow, ready to go at 8:45. Everyone remain seated while the jury exits. Mr. Bailiff, take charge of the jury. All right, I'm going to ask with the jury to be back at 8:45 tomorrow. I'm going to ask the attorneys for both sides to be here at 8:30, ready to go. All right, along with your witnesses. We're moving along at a pretty fair clip, so if the defense has any witnesses, they may want to have them ready after lunch tomorrow. All right? Anything further from the state?
No, sir.
Anything further from the defense?
No.
All right.
Mayor, I apologize. I do have one other thing, just to make sure that the witnesses, the people that have been in the courtroom know that they're not allowed to discuss the testimony with potential other witnesses.
There should be no discussion about testimony with witnesses from either side. All right. Anything further from the state?
No, sir.
From the defense?
Mayor,
All right. We'll stand in recess till 8:30 tomorrow morning.
thank you.
The system's rigged, man, it's time to break free. Eyes wide open, gotta see what I see. Standing on the front lines, fighting for the truth. Lift the veil of lies, it's time to be the proof. Take a stand, don't you back down.